Hey guys, I'm here to help you fight off boredom with some fun tips and tricks on how to make friendship bracelets. So let's get started. So you need your embroidery thread, your tapes, or a safety pin. So now that we have all this stuff, we're going to start with your embroidery thread. And so you're going to measure it out, and so you lay out the end piece, and then you just pull it down, and I kind of just eyeball it, and so that's about enough right there. And you'll take the next piece, and you'll just repeat the process. Make sure that those ones stay together. If they're not all the way aligned, it's totally fine too. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, but it's better when they're closer together. They are really sticky, so you have to hold on to them. Kind of hard. You can do this with however many pieces of string you want. I usually do 4, but today I'm going to do 5 just so you guys can see it a little bit better. So now we're going to come to the end with your scissors and cut. Okay, and so now we're going to make the loop. So this is a little bit trickier. So you're going to take the end right here and you're going to pull it over so it looks like that, okay? And then you're going to pinch it together and you're going to take this part and pull it down so it comes over that part, like that. And then you're going to hold this part and hold this, and you're going to pull this one through right there, and then you're going to put your finger through this. You're going to push this one up slowly so you can make it, and then you're going to pull it tight like that. So there you have your loop. So now you can choose if you're going to do tape or a safety pin. I like the safety pin, but you have to be careful with it so that you don't get poked. So I bunch up the fabric that I'm using, and I just push it through, and I make sure this comes all the way out, and then I just slide the bracelet on and I close it. And so once you have that secured, you can just take your scissors again, and you're going to trim off this little part, and I don't trim it too far, just enough, and I usually go to the end so there's a nice clean snip. So now you can decide the order that you want to do this in. So I want mine to go yellow, black, blue, light pink, and purple. And so they see how they kind of overlap. They don't want to go that way, but you make them. So you're going to take your first string, so for me that's yellow, and I'm going to cross it over black right here and make a 4. And then I'm going to pick up this string and I'm going to push this under with my thumb, and then I push it up with my finger right there and pull it all the way up, all the string, and then very gently pull this, and see how you have a little loop right there? You're going to carefully pull that up gently all the way to the top, and then once you're at the top, pull it tight, and then you're going to do it again. You're going to do a 4, you're going to push it under with your thumb, push it up with your finger, pull all the string very gently, and then you're going to pull it up to the top, and then you're going to put this one to the side, and you grab your next string, which is blue. And so yellow goes over 4, push under, push up, over, and up to the top gently. So this process is going to be repeated throughout the whole bracelet, and you can take your time with it, because the more you get to do it, the faster you'll become at it. I'm just taking it slow so you guys can see how to do it. So you've done 2 on each one. You go to the next one, you'll do 4, up, loop, and that's the first one, and then 4, up, loop, second, and then on to the last string right here, 4, up, loop, and then gently up to the top, and then one more time, 4, up, loop, and then to the top. So now that you've done it all once, the strings will stay in that order more than not. And so then you'll continue on. You'll take the black, which is your new first string, and then do 4 and up. And so one of the reasons I like to use safety pins more than tape is when you're pulling this tight, the safety pin comes up, but it does not come off. Tape tends to slip a lot more, and it doesn't stick as well to the embroidery floss, and so it tends to get off. Oh, and see, if you pull it out like that, it's all good. You can just do it again, 4, up, and out. And then if you ever lose count on how many you've done and you think you've done 2 but you're not quite sure, I always recommend just doing an extra one. I haven't noticed any difference when I do that in the bracelets. It doesn't seem to affect it. I just like to be safe than not. Sorry. So 4, up, in your loop, and you can pull the string out, or while you're pulling it, making the loop, you can just pull it straight up. So I'll show you that. You can do your 4, you can pull this, and you can just start pulling this up while you're pulling that string out if you want to do a little bit faster, or you can just do it the way I showed you first. And so this process with the 4, the loop, and the up, and doing it twice is going to be repeated for every single string on here. And so you can make this as long as you like. I usually just make it to around my wrist. If I'm doing it for a younger sibling, I have to make it smaller, of course, because they're younger. It just depends. And if you're making this as a gift for someone and you don't know what the size, what their wrist size is, then I kind of just based it off of my own. And if it's a little bit bigger, I think that's better than it being too small. And then also another thing I do is while I do this, I almost always am watching a movie or listening to like an audiobook or just music, because it is a very repetitive task and it is fun. It's nice to have something else to listen to or to have in the background playing while you do it. So as you can see right here, the bracelet is starting to form its pattern. And you can see the yellow one looks a little bit wonky, but that's how they all start out, so don't worry. But you can see that the black and the blue are becoming more defined lines right there. And the little tuft is in the way right now, but that's not going to be a problem when it gets longer. And so another thing with the basic design, these ones, just depending on how they're made, do tend to twist up a little bit, but that really doesn't alter like much when you're wearing it. Like if you see the one I have right here, it tends to twist up a little bit, and it's not always straight, but you can straighten it if you like, but it's good. So you'll continue making your 4, up, loop, and then to the top. And so with these threads, you can really just do whatever combination of colors that you like. This one is going to one of my younger siblings, and so I had her choose out the colors. So she chose the pinks and the blues and the really pretty yellow goldish color. And if you don't have a lot of floss to choose from, then don't worry, just make it however you want. Or if you're scared, like you don't have a lot and you don't know how much to measure it out, I prefer to have more string extra and left over then to not have enough to finish the bracelet, because there is a little bit at the end we have to do to just make sure that this bracelet doesn't come apart and so that it ties well. You can also add a button with these as well. That has to be a more exact measurement though, so I just prefer to do a tie at the end. And also you can make it so that these, like an anklet, you can tie it on and cut it so that it won't come off for quite a while, but I like to be able to take them off and put them on whenever I like. So you can see we're getting to one of our first repetitions, and the strings did want to get out of order. You just always want to check what order they're in, and if they do get out of order, then that is totally okay. While I was actually making the string bracelet, the basic one I have on my wrist right here, I wasn't paying attention and some of the strings got out of order. But you can hardly notice, and every little mistake you make just makes the bracelet that much more special and more original, because no one else can duplicate your mistakes, or they just look really nice too. Okay, so now you can see the pattern a little bit more. And so now we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. So here you can see we skip forward a little bit. You can see the pattern's a lot more well-defined here, and it's just been repeated, and I've been doing it 2 times up, and so there's that. And so we're gonna skip ahead in just a second, and I'm gonna show you how to end your bracelet. You ready? So here's the finished product. As you see, it does twist up a little bit like I said, but it looks really good. And so I'm going to show you how to do the end now. So this one has 5 strings. Usually I do ones with 4, so it's even, but we'll just split this up. So you're going to take these 2 and you're going to continue doing that 4 pattern you did with the 4, tuck under, tuck up, and cross. And so you do that 2 times. And then you'll switch which one you do, so you'll do it with the blue this time. So cross over. And these ones, just pull them out if they get stuck under, and cross. And so this is how you're going to make the end of it. And then with this one, you're going to put 2 together. So I think the pink and the purple will look good together. So I'm going to cross them over the yellow, and this will make each dot just a little bit thicker, so you might have to do more on the blue and black side than on this side, just to make sure they're even if you like them to be all matched up. But so you continue with this process to make strands so that you can tie your bracelet. And so we're going to skip forward. So here it is. I finished up these. I just repeated the 4 and with the little knots. And so this is where you get your scissors one last time. And I like to cut it so there's just a little bit at the end of this. It's a little tough there. And so then you can take your bracelet off. You can untape it or unsafety pin it, and then you can put it on. And so just trying it on for size, you would wrap it, and I like to put my thumb through there so I can pull that close, and just tie that right there. And so yeah, that's how I make friendship bracelets. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys want to see how to make a chevron bracelet, so this one right here, or a heart bracelet, and then just click the cards that are right there, and I will see you guys in another video. See you soon.